Gleepgor blinked his 3 eyes slowly as he looked over the tax forms in front of him. As an accountant for the planet Zarblax Internal Revenue Service, it was his job to make sure all Zarblaxians paid their fair share of taxes. However, Gleepgor found himself constantly frustrated by how complex the Zarblaxian tax code was. With over 10,000 pages of regulations, very few Zarblaxians could ever hope to fill out their tax forms correctly, which is why Gleepgor found himself perpetually overwhelmed with work. No matter how many hours he put in each orbital cycle, the pile of improperly filed tax forms on his desk never seemed to shrink. As he scrutinized the form in front of him now, Gleepgor let out an exasperated sigh. This one was filed by a particularly tricky species known for their slippery and devious nature. Gleepgor would have to review every number carefully to make sure no information was missing or misreported. His supervisor poked his head into Gleepgor's cubicle. "How's it coming along?" he gargled casually in the native Zarblaxian language. Gleepgor waved a tentacle dismissively. "Oh, same old story. These Akrbrylans think they can slip one past me, but I've been at this job too long to fall for their tricks." "Well, try to move things along. We're coming up on the deadline for processing and need all forms reviewed in the next orbital cycle," his supervisor responded, before retreating from the cubicle. Gleepgor tried to refocus on the task at hand. He double and triple checked every number on the form, scrutinizing them for any hint of deception or dishonesty. After nearly 2 hours of review, Gleepgor was confident this slippery Akrbrylans had filed everything correctly. He placed the form on his outbound stack and picked up another. But when he saw it was filed by another Akrbrylans, his tentacles curled in frustration. Akrbrylans weren't the only tricky species either. The Sarluans were experts at concealing income and dodging taxes, and the Xantofians knew every obscure loophole and exemption in the tax code. Handling all these complex forms made Gleepgor long for the days when taxes were much simpler on Zarblax. Back then, the code was only 100 pages long, and the forms were a single sheet of paper. Only the most basic information was required of citizens. But as Zarblaxian society advanced, so did the complexities of its tax system. Special interests lobbied for breaks and exemptions. Politicians used the tax code to reward their favoured groups, and lawyers found endless ways for the wealthy to reduce their tax burden. What was once simple became a never-ending morass. Gleepgor glanced at the